Imagine waking up one day with no rules, no expectations, and complete freedom to do whatever you want. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you most people would find this terrifying? Freedom isn't just about doing whatever we want. It comes with a cost that many are unwilling to pay. Sigmund Freud once said, "Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility." It's a thought-provoking idea that challenges everything we believe about ourselves and society. If freedom is so desirable, why do we often avoid it? Why do we fear responsibility, even as we crave independence? In this video, we're diving deep into Freud's insight to uncover the hidden truths about human nature. Are we truly ready for freedom, or are we unconsciously seeking control and structure? Let's find out. The truth about freedom and responsibility. If you ask people whether they want freedom, the answer will almost always be yes. Who wouldn't want the ability to make their own choices, follow their own dreams, and live life on their own terms? But here's the catch. Freedom isn't just about doing whatever we want. It comes with consequences. When you are free, you are responsible for your actions. And responsibility, well, that's where things get complicated. For example, financial freedom. Many people dream of quitting their jobs and becoming their own boss. But when faced with the reality of managing income, taxes, and unstable paychecks, suddenly the security of a steady job doesn't seem so bad. It's not just about financial freedom. This applies to relationships, career choices, even political and social beliefs. People say they want autonomy, but often they prefer the comfort of being told what to do. Have you ever heard someone say, "I just wish someone would tell me what to do"? That's not a statement of independence. It's an admission of fear. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of failing, fear of taking ownership of their own path. And so, despite claiming to want freedom, many people willingly trade it for certainty. They choose the job that gives them a predictable paycheck rather than the uncertain path of entrepreneurship. They follow traditions even if those traditions don't serve them, simply because stepping outside them feels too risky. So why is responsibility so frightening? The answer lies deep within human psychology. From childhood, we are conditioned to follow authority, parents, teachers, employers. When someone else makes the decisions, we are protected from failure. If things go wrong, it's not our fault. But true freedom removes that safety net. When you make your own choices, you alone must bear the consequences. That's terrifying for many people because it means no one else is to blame, no excuses, no easy way out. This fear often leads to self-sabotage. People will choose comfort over growth, obedience over independence, and certainty over the unknown. Another aspect of this fear is what psychologists call decision fatigue. When faced with too many choices, our brains become overwhelmed, and we often resort to the easiest option, letting someone else decide for us. This is why people stick with unhealthy relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or even harmful ideologies. The thought of making a big change feels too daunting, so they choose the status quo. Freud believed that much of human behavior is driven by the unconscious mind. That means we don't always realize why we do things, we just act on deep, hidden motivations. One of these hidden motivations is the desire for control. Not our own control over life, but rather the desire to be controlled by others. It sounds strange, but consider this. Many people prefer strict rules rather than open-ended choices. Some actively seek out leaders who promise to fix everything instead of taking charge of their own destiny. And in many cases, people avoid making tough decisions by letting someone else decide for them. Freud believed this was because true freedom creates anxiety. When given full control over our lives, we often feel lost. So instead, we seek structure, even if it means sacrificing some of our personal freedom. This struggle between freedom and responsibility is even more relevant today. Think about social media. People love the idea of free speech until they are held accountable for their words. They demand freedom of choice, but struggle to handle the consequences of those choices. Technology has also made decision-making harder. With unlimited options, people feel paralyzed by choice. Instead of feeling empowered by freedom, they feel overwhelmed. This is what psychologists call the paradox of choice. The more options we have, the harder it is to decide. And when decision-making becomes too stressful, people either let someone else choose for them or avoid making a choice altogether. So if freedom comes with responsibility, and responsibility is scary, what can we do? First, recognize that fear of responsibility is normal. It's a survival instinct. Our brains want to avoid risk. But instead of running from it, we need to lean into it. Here's how. Own your decisions. Stop looking for someone to blame. Accepting responsibility is the first step toward true freedom. Start small. If big decisions feel overwhelming, begin with smaller ones. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Shift your mindset. Instead of seeing responsibility as a burden, view it as power. Because when you take responsibility, you gain control over your life. Embrace uncertainty. Freedom means uncertainty, and that's okay. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Learn from failure. Responsibility means making mistakes, but mistakes are the foundation of wisdom. Every wrong step teaches a lesson that moves you forward. So, do people really want freedom, or do they just like the idea of it? Freud's words remind us that true freedom is not just about rights, it's about responsibilities. And while responsibility can be intimidating, it's also the key to a meaningful and empowered life. Now ask yourself, are you truly ready for freedom? Or are you still afraid of the responsibility that comes with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.